Hi everyone. Good evening. We are from Economics Learning Center, and from the last discussion, there were few remarks which were like this: that the function that we have introduced, the concept of function that we have introduced in the Python, was little difficult for few of us to grasp, and hence we decided to put the class in a very practical framework today. So we'll start at exactly 8 and it will be a very practical session which is not going to be very long because whatever we have done yesterday, we are just going to see the output of it. Okay. So we'll start at 8 and maybe it will be a little shorter class today and we are going to see what we have done so far in Python. Basically or mostly the today's class will be covering what we have done on function yesterday. So if you remember yesterday's stuff, all these things we have done in function yesterday, we'll try and understand all those things on Jupyter Notebook. If you have not yet started with Jupyter Notebook, and if you have downloaded Anaconda, just go to Anaconda prompt here. So what you need to do is the following. You need to open Anaconda prompt. So open it like this, okay, and then type Jupyter Notebook here. It may not be visible for all of you, but it will appear something like this notebook, and then hit enter, and Jupyter Notebook will open. Because I am already on Jupyter Notebook, I'm not hitting enter because two Jupyter Notebook will open for me. So for time being, I'm not hitting enter after typing Jupyter Notebook, but you must write Jupyter Notebook here and hit enter to go on Jupyter Notebook. I'll start all these things again when we are at around 8. But for the early arrivals, those people who have arrived before, you can begin with starting your Jupyter Notebook if you're not very familiar with. Please open your Jupyter Notebook. We are going to have little practice there today. Okay. Yeah. So now we are going to start our session. Good evening, everyone. This is a practical session on Python on which we are going to practice something related to function today. In yesterday class, we have already seen what is function in Python. Today, we are going to write few of the functions that we have written already yesterday. Okay, now the first step is that you must go to Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook is nothing but an environment which is created to put up your code somewhere that what you want Python to do. There are so many those kind of environment available, but Jupyter Notebook is one of the most famous among them for the data scientist, and hence we are putting our code in Jupyter Notebook. To go to Jupyter Notebook, you simply type Anaconda, right? Under Anaconda, you open this. Once you are open, this command prompt of Anaconda will open before you. You need to type here Jupyter, Jupyter, and then hit enter. As I said, I'm not hitting enter here because my Jupyter notebook is already open, right? It is already open. So I'm not hitting enter here, but you must hit enter to go to Jupyter notebook. Once you are in Jupyter notebook, it will appear something like this for you, where there will be so many cells. These places are called cells. you'll have so many cells. How will you open a cell? So once the Jupyter notebook will open, it will first appear to you something like this. Here, to open a new file, you must go to new and click on Python 3. This will open a new file for you. That new file will have all these things, except nothing will be written here. All these cells will be completely blank, and you are going to put your codes there. Okay. Now I have already written these codes for the class today. So all these fillings that you can see in these cells are basically the codes, and we are going to practice the same thing today. Okay. Now what we are going to do, in yesterday class, the first thing that we started with was comments, if you remember. uh, and before that we all of course dealt with composition, but we said that composition is nothing, whatever we have done composition before, the same composition will be carried on in our further analysis. So we will be starting with comment section. So as I said, in comment section we said that there will be so many lines of codes when you write a very huge program, and under those huge program there will be so many lines of codes, and it may happen that at some point of time you may forget that what you have written further. To notice or to remark those codes, so that once you are there you are able to recall or recollect that what you have written, you put comments so that you understand what you have written below it or what you have written above it. And to put comment, you put this symbol here, okay, and then you write your comment. So I'm writing here that this this notebook in Jupyter is dealing with the introduction of the Python, which is, let's say I want to say that I want to further put my comments on this. So what I'll do, I'll again put these symbols, and I'll say that now I want to see what print commands do, what print command will do when no argument is passed. Argument is passed. Okay. So once you hit enter, you see these are the thing that you can see here is your input. Okay. And so just to demonstrate you this thing little clearly, I'm restarting my Jupyter notebook. So see what is happening here. Once you'll hit control enter, you will see that it will take little time to run. But what is here, this is the first input into the Python, and there is no output, so hence you don't see any output here, right? This is again my second comment. If I hit control enter, you see second is coming here. That only means that this is my second input into my program, and I'm not getting any output. Now you remember from previous class, I said that if you are going to print, if you are going to use print command or print function, and you are not passing any argument inside, you see what is coming, and a completely blank line is coming. Just compare this with some argument that you want to pass into it, right? Say I passed an argument, say a, inside it, and then hit control enter. Now you see fourth line has this argument inside it, and a is printed out. So you notice the difference when no argument is inside print command and one argument is inside print command. So once you pass any argument inside print command, print function is executed and it gives you an output. When no argument is passed inside print command, it does not give you any output. A complete blank line is being printed. Okay, great. We are going to make use of this print function in our building of function, where we have shown yesterday that we are going to write a function which is going to give us a blank line. Okay, so From previous class, if you remember, whenever you are going to write a function in Python, you need to put def here that says that this is not a normal line of code, rather this is where I'm going to write a function. And then after def, you write the name of the function. So the name of my function is new line. So I'll write this function again for you, and I'll show you that Python will automatically prompt you to the right position. So just to compare, let's see how this is doing. Suppose I write x, I'm defining a variable, x is equals to 32. Let's not put it x, let's give it a name, say weird name, alpha. Alpha is equals to 32. Then hit enter. You see where you are. You are right below A in your next line in the same cell. You are right below A. That means the alignment is perfectly there. Now I write beta is equals to say 40. You again hit enter. You see again and again you are coming back to the starting alignment, right? And if you are going to hit control enter, you say this line is executed. If you want to see the value of alpha and beta, what you do, you say alpha, right? And you hit control enter and the value of alpha is printed for you. Now this is the first time when you are getting an output also. So you see this was my sixth input, right? And alpha was given a name 32. I as an input I gave Python alpha, and Python has given me an output 32. So this is the first time when you see that an output is printed for me. For the sixth input, an output is printed for me. For rest of the things, you see that there was no output printed. Just try to relate here, and it will be a lot helpful for the future programming. Now, as I said, Python will automatically going to prompt you to the right position. What do I mean by that? You have already seen in the previous cell here that once I type alpha is equals to 32 and I hit enter, I go to the next line where I wrote beta is equals to 40. Is this the same thing when I write a function? Let's see. I'm going to redefine my function for you. So let's write def new line and then this parenthesis. So as I said, def is for any time you are going to define a function. This is the name of my function, and this is a parenthesis under which we put our parameters of the function. And after all these, you put a colon, and then you hit enter. You see where Python has prompted you. It has not prompted you here. Instead, it has prompted you here. What does that mean? Python knows that this is a function when you have put this colon, and it understands that you are going to start a function, and anything which will come below this function must have an indentation here, and anything written under this indentation will be the part of this function. So now suppose I have written this new line function. Instead of this new line, let's write a different function here so that it will be very clear to you. So I'm going to write a function, say summation. So let's give it a small name, sum underscore 2, right? Just two numbers, score, right? And then pass your two arguments. So suppose I want to add x and y, which I have not defined. As I have told you, parameter are very general thing. And then you put enter, and then you hit enter. Python has prompted you with an indentation. Always remember this. Now I'm going to pass z. I'm going to create a variable z under which I'm going to add these two things, right? And then again you hit enter. You see Python has again prompted you with an indentation inside the function. Now you see I'm asking Python to return z to me, and here I'm ending my function. Great, I have defined a function. This is the definition of the function. I have defined a function add to sum two numbers. Now I want to use my function sum underscore two underscore numbers, and then you put your two numbers that you are going to use. So you say 2 and 5, right? So you remember these two are called arguments, they are not parameters. Once you call a function, the values that you pass inside the function to do the calculation that the function was intended to do or the function was written for, then those values here 2 and 5 are called arguments, they are not parameters. So that's how we distinguish between arguments and parameters. But of course argument, we tried to say you that argument is a very specific thing but parameter is a very general thing. But let's first make use of this function and hit control enter here. You see my two numbers are added and I got the return. And that's the beauty of writing a function in Python. You can write any function of your choice. So the yesterday what function we wrote, we wanted to write a function wherein we are going to leave one line blank among several lines. Okay, so how do you make use of this function? So my function is new line, and you have already seen that if I'm calling the function print with nothing passed inside, it is going to give me a blank line. Fine, let's first run this function. Okay, this function is now there in the Python. Now I will write print, okay, first line, okay, then hit enter. Then I'm calling my new line function here, and you see new line function the new line function does not take any parameter inside, so no argument will also be passed inside. And now I'm writing my second line, okay, and then you hit control enter. You see first line is printed as per the logic. Second line, when we come to second line, this function is called with wherein when this function executed, this leaves you a blank line here, and then you are printing second line, so second line is also printed. Great. Now the same function, if I'm calling twice, it will leave two lines blank for me. So if you hit control enter, you say two lines left blank for you in this case. So what we are doing here, we are repetitively calling the same function inside my code. But you can define a function where you can make use of the previous function. So I'm going to write a function where I'm going to leave three lines blank by calling this function again and again. So you see I have done nothing. I'm calling my previous called function. So this is as simple as that. I have defined my function and then I'm making use of this function. When this function is being printed, this leaves three lines blank. Now where the confusion was for most of the people in yesterday class, I'm going to deal with this now. Okay, so say the most of the difficulty that people faced in yesterday class was mostly with the concept of execution of flow. Okay, so this is how I'm going to put the understanding of execution of flow in today's class. You define a variable called, name it anything what you want. Say I define a variable ram which I give a name 10. Then I define a variable sham, okay, I give it value 12. Now I want to define a variable ram underscore sham which is equals to which is equals to Ram plus Syam. Great. Now I'm going to define a function. So this function, what this function is going to do, suppose I want to concatenate two variables that I have defined above. So I'm going to write concatenation underscore 2, so that I remember that only I'm going to concatenate two numbers here. Then I put my parenthesis, I passed two parameters, then I put my colon, I hit enter. You see, where did I come? I come to the next line with an indentation. Always remember this, okay? And then I'm going to define a new variable, say z. This variable is going to do nothing, but it is going to concatenate two strings. So how do you know the two strings will be added? The two strings are concatenated with the plus sign that we have seen in previous classes. So x plus y, and then I'm asking Python to return z to me, and here I'm going to end my function. Now you see, when I have put return here, when I have put return here and I have put z and I have hit enter, Python understood that after return, this function is not going to continue. The definition of the function ends here. So you see, once I am here and I am hitting enter, Python is prompting me to the very starting point of the next line. Not any indentation is there. Okay. Now I'm going to continue with my some random code, whatever you say. So I will say that I'll create a new variable, two words combined, and then I'm saying Ram plus, I'm saying, okay, let's do it with this way. Let's write a print statement so that you can understand the concept of composition also here. Print, I'm saying inside Ram, and then concatenating this with Shyam, okay, and then I am using again a concatenation, and there I am using equals to sign, and then hit again plus. Don't hit plus here. Instead what you need to do is this: you need to write Ram plus Syam is equals to their sum, right? So come to the next line instead to make this concept very clear, and write print. And now you can write, you have not made use of the function here. So you have not made use of the function that we have defined here. You see, I have just defined the function, but I have not called my function. So let's go step by step and see how it is working. Okay. So here you need to hit Control Enter. You see what is the outcome? You are getting Ram and Shyam. Okay. But since you have defined the function, you have not called the function, there will be no output associated with this, right? So, and the second problem that you can see in this code, that I wanted to understand Ram plus Syam, but this plus sign is not coming. If it is not coming for you, what you need to do is this: you need to put you need to convert this plus sign into a string first. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm converting this plus sign into a string after I have given this quotes there, and now this plus sign is also converted into a string. And now you hit Control Enter. You see now plus sign is coming between Ram and Shyam. And now what is your objective? Your objective is to to get the value of their sum here, to get a value here which is the sum of 10 and 20. Okay, so can I make use of my function that I have defined? So say I am going to put my comments here. I'm trying to make my this cell as complex as possible. So I am commenting here. I will write first print two words that we are going to concat. Okay, then again put your comment, then print me their value. Okay, of course the sum. Okay, great. Now you see, again I'll run this complete code and you will see that nothing will be affected because these two lines will be acting as a comment section. You have just written these for your reference. Now you need to define a variable, let's call it sum of the two value, sum of the two values. Okay, and here I'm going to make use of my function. So my function was concatenation underscore 2, and then what are you going to sum? So you are going to sum Ram and Shyam, right? This is what you are going to do. Let's see if this works for us. Okay, so what this is saying, then that concatenation two is not defined. Okay, so there is a spelling mistake here. I'll copy paste this thing as it is. Okay, and now let's see if this works. Okay, so what is it saying? It's saying that concatenation to missing one required positional argument y. Okay, so what is happening? Let's write this function above or below. So I'm going to write this function above here. I'll print it here. I'll see if there is anything wrong with this function. So there is nothing wrong with this function. This function is perfectly defined. Now I'm going to do this line which I'm doing it here. Instead, just this much. I'll pass it here. Okay, and instead of Ram and Shyam, I'll put their values, say 10 and 20. Okay, 10 and 20, and I'll see if there is anything incorrect there. So what it is saying, that position concatenation two function missing one required positional argument. Now if you compare this thing with the sum function that we have defined above, wherein you have defined the sum function as it is. So if you run this function again, I'm just trying to demonstrate the difference that is coming there. Okay, and you run it here, you are perfectly getting your right result. Everything is perfectly fine in this case, right? So you see, this is my line 21. I'm trying to explain you two things simultaneously. First thing is how you are going to make use of the function, and second thing, look at my cursor. There you are getting it as 21st input, and here you are getting as a 22nd input. And if you go there and see, this was my 18th input, right? This was my 18th input, and there I have defined Ram and Shyam. So if I'm going to define this Ram and Shyam again, although this line is coming far above, although this line is coming far above than the previous line, but this line has is got executed later in your code, right? So if now you have defined these two variables again, and you have put Ram and Shyam there, right? You are getting perfectly right result, right? You're getting perfectly right result there in this function, and in this function you now need to make a difference that why it is happening that Ram and Sam when added here gives you a wrong result, it gives you an error, but when Ram and Sam added here, this gives you a right result. You need to understand this thing. Why? Because this function is simply adding these two things as digits, right? You see, these are integers. I'm adding 10 and 20 and I'm getting 22. That is perfectly fine, right? Here, what it is saying that concatenation 2, you have x and y defined, but your second required positional argument is missing, right? So to make this correct, what I'll do, I'll put a comma here and see. Now it is giving me completely fine result. So what is happening with the composition? You remember what composition do? If I'm putting a plus sign here, if I'm putting a plus sign here, and then running my argument, and then running my function, calling my function, it is giving me wrong results. It is saying that your y position is missing. You are not putting anything for your y position that you have put inside when you are defining the function. So you remember what composition do? It will first evaluate anything that you have put inside it, and then it is going to make use of this function. But 10 plus 20 is already 30. So 30 will go in the place of x. Y is completely missing. Once you remove this comma here, now you are getting it as 30. Why? Because this 10 will go in place of x and this 20 will go in the place of y, and these two will be evaluated, right? So that thing is as clear as this. So you now understand that if you miss any argument to pass inside the function, you'll get a result. And second, if you are going to put your argument with some composition, some operator inside, first that operator will be the operation of that operator will be completed, and then the function will be executed. So here, before going into the execution of the flow, I have defined you that first inside the function also the execution will be something like this, that the operator operation will be completed and then the function will come back to the function operation. So that was idea here, right? Okay. Now, if you are going to, so what we are going to do here is this. We are going to eliminate this for the time being for the sake of understanding. Okay, we are not going to call the function. Okay, are we calling the function somewhere? Yeah, we are calling the function here. Just remove this line. We are not going to call this function. Okay, and hit control enter. Everything is perfectly fine. This function is going to give me a concatenation of the two. This function was already defined, so you may delete this function as well. This function was already defined. Define this function once again. Just have a look at the input value. You are at the 30th input, so this is executed after this. But once you have executed this also, now this is executed after this. Okay, so now you can place this thing inside a value. The object that you are getting as concatenation of the two, you can place this value inside a variable. Let's call the variable sum of the two right, and hit control enter. No problem, this is printed in, you are not getting any output because you have not called for the output. If you want to see the output, you need to write the name of the variable again. Okay, simply write name of the variable, hit control enter, and you will get the output as well. Now you have already defined Ram and Shyam above. Let's define Ram and Shyam again above so that for the sake of clarity, we'll understand it completely well. I'm going to define Ram and Shyam here. Hit control enter. That is my 34th line of execution. Hit control enter. That is my 35th line of execution. Instead of this, write Ram and Shyam here. Hit control enter. You are getting 22, perfectly fine. Okay. Now you are going to concatenate these two. We are going to concatenate these two words. So let's go to the next cell, write print inside the quotes the sum of ages of Ram and Shyam is, and then you want to print the sum of their ages, and that is going to be the sum of their ages. Let's print it first. So the sum of the ages of Ram and Shyam is, and now you want to see the result. Is it, or yeah, is, that's fine, is, and then write sum of the two and hit control enter. And now you are getting your result. The sum of the ages of Ram and Shyam is 22, right? So you can remove this line completely and now follow the logic with me. What I have done here. First I have defined these two variables. Then I have defined a function. Then I have added these two numbers that I have defined earlier. I have called my function concatenate the two. I have stored it into a variable. I am output whether my sum is correct or not. Then I am printing that the sum of the ages of Ram and Shyam is, and I am going to print the result that I have stored in the value sum of the two. And then I'm getting the result sum of the ages of Ram and Shyam is 22. Okay. Now let's understand the flow of the logic. First, I have told you in these 4 cells, I have told you that what I have written. Now let's understand how the flow of the logic is going. Flow of the execution is going. So first, this line is executed, no problem with this. This line is perfectly executed. 10 is assigned to Ram, 20 is assigned to Shyam. I have defined my function. Okay, I have defined my function here. So remember from the previous class, once you are defining a function, nothing here will be executed. Only this thing read, which will be, Python will understand that you are defining a function. Nothing here will be executed. So this cell is executed. This cell is completely left blank. Nothing is executed. You come to this cell. Here, you are saying that sum of the two, you are defining it as a variable, and then you are calling your function that you have defined here. So this is just calling of this function. Now you are putting inside variables the arguments that you want to sum up. So once you have called this function and passed this argument and you hit control enter, then Python will go back to this cell which was not executed. It will replace Ram instead of X, it will replace Shyam instead of X, and here in Z will be Ram plus Shyam, which will be 10 plus 20, and the function is returning me value Z, which is 10 plus 20 is equals to 22. You got 22, and then you are printing all these things combined. So you must understand that today's class is for this only, that you understand that how the flow of logic is going. This line is executed, this cell is not executed, this cell is executed, and when this is executed, you go back to your previous cell. Although it was written previously, in the normal circumstances, this must have been executed before this was executed. But when this is a function, this will not be executed. The logic written below will not be executed. This will be executed first, and later on this will be executed. Although you see that this is the previous input and this is the later input. Okay, so this is the one thing for which I wanted to have this practical session of this class. Second thing that we want to discuss is about, say, is about this return line inside a function. So we'll talk about this return line little bit. So you see, I will define a function. Yesterday actually we defined this function in theory class. We define a function print twice. Okay, we defined a function print twice, inside which we passed only one argument, which is anything, right? And then I'm going to print anything comma anything. That means whatever I will pass here, that will be printed twice, right? Okay, now I'm calling my function print twice. I have passed the argument ram, so ram will be printed twice. Great. Now see here, I am defining another function, okay, in which I'm not going to pass this return thing. I'm not going to pass this return thing, okay? This is completely left blank. Instead of that, I'll write print, and I'll write cat. I'll hit Control Enter, right? I'll hit Control Enter here, and then you see I'm going to make use of this function cat, and I'm going to run it. You see that I have concatenated these two letters here. So if what is the difference when I'm putting a return inside my function, that you can see here, return, right? That you may see here, previous functions were not having return value. Here also we had a return value, but below function at some places you might see that I don't have return value associated with this. So let's not return anything here. Okay, let's not do anything here. I simply run this function and then call this function. Are you getting any output here? Are you getting any output here? So the answer is no. Why? Because although you have written inside your function that whatever parameter I'll pass, you must concatenate these two parameters. But this ends here only. You must specify your function if you want anything in return from this function. If you will not pass this return argument, or if you will not pass this print argument here, what will happen, that whatever is there inside the function is there inside the function. It will never come outside. Things will be absorbed inside the function. Nothing will come outside. So if I am not passing any argument and then I'm calling the function, you see, function is giving me nothing. Everything is fine. There is nothing syntax error in this. There is no syntax error in this. You are concatenating these two. These two will be concatenated, stored in a value cat, but you are not asking for a return. Definition will not give you a return. And if you are calling this function, all these things will be executed. So A will be passed in place of part 1, B will be passed in place of part 2. These two will be concatenated, and it will end there. No result, no printout. Okay, so you understand the importance of return or print statement. You must specify these return and print statement inside your definition if you want to see the output, if you want to get a result from your function. And then the last topic that we dealt in yesterday class was about the locality. So I'll write it here. So this was about the locality of the variables. I'll put this in comment section, locality of variable. Okay, so you see this cat variable was defined inside my inside my function cat twice. Now the difference between a variable which is defined inside a function and a variable which is defined outside a function, let's see the difference between the two. So let's see, I am defining a variable which is outside a function, and let's call it at 1. Okay, and let's give it value 20. Run it. Then just do one thing. Call your cat 1 and let's see its value. It's 20. Fine. You have also run this definition of the function. Can you call cat? You see, my Python is saying there is nothing like cat anywhere in my Python. So a person who is new to the Python, he will be surprised. I have defined cat here. Why are you saying that cat is not defined? Why are you saying that there is cat nowhere in my code? There is code cat here. But the idea is this, that any variable which is defined inside a function is operational or lives inside the function. It has no connection outside the function. So anything, the value that you have cat inside here, 20. So suppose you have passed 10 and 10 and your value is 20 inside the cat, but you will not get anything outside it. And so anything which is outside the function, anything which is inside inside the function. Function will give you one single result if you want to get the result after you have written return statement. Okay, if I'll put return cat, hit it enter, and then I need to call my cat twice function. I need to call my cat twice function. I need to pass two things, right? 20 and say 30. I need to run it. I'll get it 50. So cat got operational here. The value of cat finally got returned, which is associated with cat twice only. But cat itself, even if you put cat, even if you want to print cat here, you will see it will give you an error. So there is no existence of cat outside the function. Cat will perform its value. Cat will perform its work only inside the function, and then it kills itself. That's it. That is as simple as that. So understand the difference between the variable which is defined outside and the variable which is defined inside the function. So we technically discussed 3-4 properties of the function in today's class. Just to give you a very brief, just to went through very briefly for all of those. The first thing that we discussed is you can call the function so many times, you can repeat their calling inside the function. So you can call one function inside another function, and that call can be repetitive. So these are two different points. Second important point we discussed about is about the execution of the function, which may be still confusing for many of you. So I'll give you a very quick understanding of those again. So you see, we did wrote 20 thing here somewhere. I am to find it instantly. Yeah, we did it here. So execution was something here. Although this was 34th line of my input, this got executed. Although this was my 35 line of input, but this cell will not be executed because this is a function. This 36th input is coming after 35th input, but this will be executed. And upon its execution, you will see that I'll go back here because I have called my concatenate2 function. I'll execute it here once this is being executed, and then you get your everything. So the idea here was the cell containing definition will not be executed. Great. And the last thing that we discussed in today's class is about the locality of the function. So cat defined inside will only live inside. There will be no existence of those variables which are defined inside the function. Okay. Now you have complete freedom to ask anything from today's class. Whatever you want to ask, go on and write your doubt in the chat box. I'm going to answer all of them. We have 10-15 odd minutes. Whatever you want to ask, just keep putting your doubts and we'll try to answer all of them here. And by the way, we also discussed when we were trying to discuss this thing, we also discussed with trial and error that what all errors we can make when defining a function. If you are thinking that instead of 10 and 20 with comma, I'll write 10 and 20, something like this. When we are calling a function, you are going to make a error inside your function. Say I'm going to write this function, let's call it like this. You're calling your this function, right? Inside your function, you are not putting comma, suppose, and hitting control enter. You see that this is saying that this is an invalid syntax. If you write a plus thing inside, again you will get an error which tells you that you are missing y value. So you need to put things inside your function separated with comma as it is defined inside the function, and you'll get completely perfect argument. But suppose, what was the thing that I shown you when we discussed this thing previously? I put a plus sign, and my argument was this, that first this operator will be executed, things will be stored as 10 plus 20 as 30, 30 will be passed in place of 10, and y is still blank. So if you hit this thing, you will get an error which will tell you that you have not passed the value for y. Okay, so I think with trial and error I have shown you this example pretty well. If you have any doubt in understanding any of these things, you can come up with those doubts, and I can handle them in the remaining 10-15 minutes. Yeah, so yeah, so someone is asking what is the difference between the print and return statement in the function. So technically, return is the most you say conventional thing to get return from a function. Whatever you want to print out the output of your function, you get that thing if you put return, but it is not same as print. From previous class, if I can show you, from the previous class, let's go back to the previous class and let's see. There was this doubt very clearly put up there. So we were somewhere here in the previous class, now little below here. Uh, let's see where we wrote that thing. Yes, we wrote that thing here. So I'll show you the difference between print and return statement. Print and return thing, when we are doing the same thing inside a function, let's copy all this thing here. Okay, and let's put it inside my Jupyter notebook. Of course this is incorrect because indentation is not correct. Okay, now hit enter. Okay, now this function is executed. Okay, now you see I have written I have not asked my function to return me any statement. Instead, I have made use of the print, right? And you see, twice was another statement. I think we have defined it somewhere. Okay, if we have not defined it anywhere, let's do it in the end. Sprint it again. Let's copy paste it again. Make the adjustment for the syntax error. Let's define twice. So let's define a function twice. What does it do? Whatever is passed inside. Okay. So I think anything was passed inside under twice. I think it was defined earlier. Let's see if it was defined earlier. We'll not define it. I think anything was somewhere written, but if it was not written anyway, yeah, print twice. So it was anywhere written. So just amend this twice. Okay, anything, and then hit enter. This function is defined. So your this function is defined here, which is going to print anything which you pass inside it, and it will print it twice. Now here you are going to make use of your print twice statement, and now I'm going to make use of this concat function. So cat, then twice, and then there I'm going to pass my argument, right? I'm going to pass my argument. So let's pass argument, any two argument a, and so if you are printing a, put it as a, or yeah, let's put it as a and b, and let's see what happens. So it will give you an error. So it is a is not defined. So you need to put it inside a quotes so that it is a string. Yeah. Now see the difference. Let's before I show you the difference, I'll copy paste again. Okay. Now let's see the difference. I have not executed this line. Notice here. Instead of return, I have only used print statement. Now a plus b, you see, once I am calling this function, what will happen that a will go in place of part 1, b will go in place of part 2. These two will be concatenated and will form a, b. Now twice function just give you the return twice. So ab is printed, is given as twice, is printed twice, ab, ab. But you see something coming none. So that's the difference when you are getting your output as print statement. If I'm getting my output not as print statement, instead I'm getting my output as return statement, and let's give it a different name because that name is already there, and then make use of this function, right? Make use of this function and then pass these two arguments a and b, and then hit control enter. Now you see this none is not coming in my output. Here you are getting none, but here you are not getting none. The difference is that return statement is a conventional line for function output. So once you put return, Python understand that function is going to give you a return. But here, when I'm getting the return through print line, I'm still not asking Python to give me a return. I'm forcefully using another function to get a return. Hence, this none is coming just as a suggestion that this function is not giving you any return. A and B is printed because I have used forcefully print statement to get my answer. But function in its definition is not going to give you any return. But once you are using this return line, function in its definition is giving you some return, and hence this none which is here is not coming here. Is that answer your question? Okay, thank you. Thanks. Anyone else who wants to ask something? if you guys have any doubt, you can put up your problem, you can unmute yourself and can directly talk to me. The doubts will love to handle here and try to resolve it right now. And anyway, if you have missed again something on today's class, again all these things will be put on YouTube, and we'll try to resolve everything. Either if you put those things here in the box, or you put anything there in the YouTube, and we'll try to resolve all those. Okay, thank you guys for coming in today's class. If you have any doubt, you can still put in, we'll try to answer a question. And if you don't have any doubt, goodbye, take care, and enjoy yourself. Thank you.